What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. My name is Saren Death, and it is that time once again. A new hero has dropped. The Necromancer Zul has joined the battle, and we are going to be taking our first look at him today. Now, like previous new hero releases, I'm going to be taking him into a bot match just so I can look through his abilities and read through his talents. If you're looking for a match against other players, then stop back in later in the week. Well, let's take a look at this new hero and get into a game.
It is time.
Alright, today we're testing Zul out in the Garden of Terror. Now typically I'd go over my team, but since this is a bot game and we're looking at talents and abilities, we're just going to dive right into it. So our first set of talents have to deal with his Bone Shield. Now Bone Shield, we can see it right here, it's a 30-second cooldown. Activate to gain a shield equal to 25% of your maximum health for 3 seconds. Pretty good, and these are all going to allow us to do different things with that Bone Shield. Alright, so Backlash. Bone Armor explodes, dealing damage. Okay, whenever it expires. That's not bad. I think that's good if you're going to be testing him out, or be dealing damage with him. Shackler, it now slows enemies by 30%. That's pretty good for 1 second. Good for chasing and things like that. And then Shade. I guess this is for if he's going to be an off tank, where he can get armor evades. Okay, so we're actually going to try out the Backlash. I want to see how much damage he can deal. Alright, so we see it changes the icon right there. So that is his one ability. His trait is called Raise Skeletons. When a nearby enemy minion dies, it becomes a skeleton warrior that attacks and deals damage. Up to 4 skeletons can be out and they last for 15 seconds. Alright, Q is the Bone Scythe. This allows us to put a scythe out there and then it's going to fly back and forth. So that's pretty cool. W allows us to get, it is called okay, Curse Strikes, and this is going to be some nice AoE cleave damage on our basic attacks. And then E is called Bone Prison. This is a 2-second delay, and it is going to allow us to... Do I need to actually raise the dead? Is that what needs to happen here?
I hope you're ready.
It's going to allow us to lock somebody down. So it's a 2-second delay. Once those 2 seconds are up, it's going to lock them down. Nope, the skeletons are being raised. Okay, cool. They don't seem to have that much health right now. Let's go ahead and put our Bone Shield up. Oh, that's really cool looking. Okay, so it tells you how many you have. That is pretty awesome, not going to lie. So he does a considerable amount of damage. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to... I just really want to see this. That is really awesome. Okay. Let's go down, let's do the map objective, get seeds and all of that. So you can see we still have 2 skeletons up, and if I remember correctly, yeah, they just pushed the lane. Okay. So our next talent, we have Death's Reach, increases Spectral Sight's range by 20%. That's good if you're trying to get a lot of damage out there. Put our Bone Shield up. Okay, the other one is Bone Prism spawns skeletons. Okay, so Bone Prism spawns 2 skeleton warriors that fixate on the enemy for 15 seconds. They do not count towards your total. That is really awesome. I'm actually taking a lot of damage. I was curious if I could tank this guy. I cannot, not by myself. It's good to know these things. It's good to know them. Alright, so we're actually just going to go back into it. It's going to give us a second to look through the rest of these. And then Trag'O's Essence. Gain 8 mana whenever you raise a skeleton. I think we're just going to go with Jailers, because that sounds awesome. And my favorite build for the Necromancer back in Diablo 2 was the skeleton build. You know, more skeletons. So we can have a total of 6 skeletons out now, 2 of which will focus an enemy that is hit by our Bone Prism, our E, and it does not count towards our total. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it on... Yeah, we're just going to... Yeah! Gotta remember to keep that shield up. So the shield, I'm wondering if... So the shield to me, it seems like it's good for... like quick engagements. You're trying to get something done very quickly. You want to slow the enemy. It doesn't last for very long. We're going to Bone Prison her. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a targeted route. Oh my word.
My plans.
And the skeletons will then go back out the lane. Oh, so nice. Okay, I'm not going to be taking the Garden Terror because we really want to see the abilities.
Killing spree.
The skeletons are going to push in. The skeletons do not seem to have a lot of life. That is unfortunate. Put our bone shield up. So honestly, I think that the I think that your best bet with the bone prism is probably not going to be the damage one. You're probably going to want the avoid damage or the slow. I think the damage one is fine, but it doesn't last long enough. I don't know. I guess an extra damaging ability would not be that bad. I'm just trying to lock something down. So the Bone Prism does not have a very long range. Okay, so our next talent tier, we have Harvest Vitality, increased, so curse strikes against heroes heal you. Oh wow, that seemed really good. Okay, we have increased curse strikes attack speed slow. That doesn't seem too bad. Lock her down.
Your terror has been
Okay. So we can increase Cursive Strike attack speed slow from 50% to 75%. Rathma's Blessing, raise the skeleton to heal you. I think we're going to go with Harvest Vitality. Alright, and then for our heroics, we have the two choices. Poison Nova, which just basically, after a short delay, you explode in poisoned missiles. And then Skeletal Mages, which summons a line of Skeletal Mages that will attack nearby enemies and slow them. We're going to go with that because that sounds incredibly fun. And they're actually close to beating this game already, which is unfortunate. It's always the unfortunate part about playing with bots because you don't really... The bots are not very good. Let's be very clear. They really aren't. Alright, so we're going to do this. We're going to summon the... We're actually going to cleave as well. Nice. Now, the cleave definitely only works against enemy heroes, so... Still have a lot to learn with this character. It's unfortunate that we pushed in so far so fast. So I definitely feel like some talents already are slightly better than others. But we're going to go ahead and grab this stuff. Give ourselves a chance to get 13, so we can at least take a look at those talents. He definitely feels like he's going to be a very big push hero. And he's actually got some very, very nice... Oh, man. Just the combination of everybody pushing right here at the same time. He's got some nice self-sustain, too. Lots of really good sustain. So we can grab this real quick. That's fine. Put the scythe out there. That is so cool. If you can't tell, I am incredibly excited about this character. I've been looking forward to him since he was announced. I like specialists in general. They're probably my favorite role just because they are very unorthodox. They don't function like other normal heroes do. So this is probably going to be the end of the game, which is unfortunate. Once we get this terror, they're going to push into top. I do not blame them. They want to get their free win in. Most people do the bot games now just to get their dailies done. So if it's like, oh, win 3 matches, it's just easier to go into a bot game and win 3 matches quick than it is to try and get those 3 games done in quick match. Alright, we're going to start attacking this guy. We're going to put our shield up. No, get close enough to the bomb. There we go. Yeah, I just don't feel like it does enough damage to... I really do feel like the evasion would probably be my go-to choice, especially if the enemy team has a lot of auto-attackers, because you dodge everything. It says everything. It's not like you dodge a few things. It's everything for, what is it, 4 seconds? 3 seconds. Okay. I've yet to use... Okay, we're going to use the heroic now. Skeleton mages. Come on. Where you going? Where you going? Oh, that range is extremely short. Okay, so we have Decrepify. Spectral Slice slows by 40% for 3 seconds. Giant's Curse, which is basically an improved version of Giant Killer, based on your cursed strikes, so your W. And Corpse Explosion. Yes. So basically, your skeletons are now going to explode when they expire. How awesome is that?
Done. The terror shall hunt.
I don't know if like any of this. So here's the problem with the skeletons. It's really great if you're trying to push a lot, but if you're not pushing, then you're not getting much value out of these skeletons. But still, it is incredibly cool. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, I have a gift for them whenever we want to push in. Get a set gift. Alright, so I don't think we're going to have a chance to look at our 16 talents. We will, of course, take a quick look at them. Oh no, I'm going to die! No! Heal me! I almost lived. Almost. Okay, so again, I think that the bone shield, you're probably going to see much more, much better use out of it when you take the evasion. That being said, the damage is still pretty cool. Let's see here. It does. Wait, bone armor expires. Nearby enemies take damage equal to 15% of maximum health. What? That is a crazy amount of damage. Especially if you're able to slow the enemy, that is a crazy amount of damage. Alright, this is probably going to be the end right here, unless we back out completely. Okay, so at 16, we have Executioner, which is basically you deal extra damage to slowed targets, or disabled targets, so CC'd. Flowing Wounds, reduced to Spectral Scythe cooldown if hero is hit. Okay.
As you say.
Amplify damage. Bone Prison causes vulnerability. That's not terrible. Vulnerability is always welcome. And then Skeletal Mastery, increase number of skeletons you have by 6, and they deal 100% more damage. We're going with that. So it seems like you can definitely go a crazy push build if you really wanted to. We're going to lock him into place. We can pretty much end this now. Summon our 4 skeletons. Okay, so it definitely feels like the skeletons, the skeletal mages, they need room to be spawned. You can't just throw them out there willy-nilly. He does not. He feels tanky, but at the same time, he doesn't feel super tanky. Good job, team. Good job. So we got to see up to 16. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at his talents once again, so you can go through them. Now that we've seen them in action, I kind of have a better idea what we're looking at as far as talents go. I know this is a very, very quick game, and it's kind of the point behind these. Make them quick. We can take a look at the talents. I don't really need to focus on the game so much because people are going to be able to win it for me, basically, and I can look through these talents. So we're going to go ahead. We're just going to go back to the main screen, take a look at his talent. So at level 1, I didn't realize it was 15% of their maximum health. That is a lot of crazy damage, and if you're able to slow them or keep them in place, that's just a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Shackler, I think, is going to be fine if you really, really want slows in your team, but I think that your choices are probably going to either be Backlash or Shade. I do like the evade all basic attacks. It does increase the cooldown of bone armor, but I do like this one. That being said, I just didn't realize 15% of maximum health. I just wasn't hitting people with it. I need to hit. I think that it'd be really good if you hit people with it. Okay, so at 4, we took, what did we take? Jailers. I don't think that the skeletons really did much. They don't have a lot of health. They went down pretty quickly. As far as what I would probably take is, I don't know. I think Jailers is cool. I think it's fun. I don't know if it's the best bet. Maybe the Death's Reach increased the Spectral Scythe range by 20% might be really good. I didn't really feel like I had mana problems, so I don't know if this is what I would go with. Probably not. Probably not. I think that if I were doing a push build, I'd still go with Jailers just because the Skeletal Warriors can then go back out the lane. It can help you lane a bit better. Now that I'm thinking about it, at level 4, you're still in the laning process. So taking the Jailers in lane might not be a bad idea to really burn down tower shots and things like that. So at 7... I think Harvest Vitality, Curse Strikes heal you for 60. Well, heal you for damage for each enemy hero hit is going to be really good in those team fights. It's going to help you out, help you stay alive, and I feel like that's where his weakness is going to come in. That if he's focused, he can be blown up very quickly, even with that shield that he can get from his bones, the bone shield. It's not that much of a shield; it only lasts 3 seconds. So, all right. So we have Harvest Vitality, which I think is great. Weaken, increase Cursed Strikes attack speed slow from 50 to 75%. I think that if you're fighting against a ton of auto attack melee guys, like you're fighting against a Thrall and Illidan and like a double tank like Sonya and like Chen or something crazy like that in like quick match, sure, take this. This is going to absolutely devastate their attack speed, but I don't feel like you're going to get that much use out of it. I think that Harvest Vitality would be a little bit better in most circumstances. And then Rathma's Blessing, raising a Skeletal Warrior heals you for 66. So I think that this right here is for strictly if you're going a 100% push build. If that is your whole goal and you're doing nothing but pushing, this is what you want to go with. That being said, I am curious if Jailers, if the skeletons spawn from this, also heal you as well. That might be really good. Let's check out his abilities really quick. One to cooldown. So cooldown on Bone Prison is 12 seconds, whereas Cursed Strikes is 15. So might be able to get, I don't know, because Cursed Strikes, when you can hit multiple people with that. I'll have to play around with these a little bit more. Harvest Vitality and Rathma's Blessing. At 10, we played around with Skeletal Mages. I like it. I feel like they can definitely do a lot because what they do is they'll attack nearby enemies and they can slow them by 30%. If you haven't noticed, he's got a ton of slows in his kit. They last 15 seconds, like these skeletons that you can summon out there. My only gripe with it is, it felt like they had to have their full circle available to them to be summoned. I think Poison Nova is probably going to be my go-to just because Zul feels like he wants to get in there and fight and be in the middle of things, and I think Poison Nova is going to help you deal a lot of damage that way. Skeletal Mages for a team where there's lots of open areas and you really need more slows. 13, Decrepify. Spectral Scythe now slows by 40%. Again, more slows in his kit. Giant's Curse, basically Giant's Killer. I think that this is probably going to be your go-to for most circumstances. Zul definitely feels like he's going to have to get in there and dish out the pain with his cleaving attacks. Then again, I guess that you could go a Scythe build, which would be kind of interesting. We'll take a look at the talents once again, see if there's a lot of them. Corpse Explosion, again, I picked it just because I like skeletons, and I really wanted to go that route, but I don't think that's going to be your go-to. I really don't, unless you're going for some crazy push build. It doesn't look like they do that much damage, and they only deal 100% increased damage to non-heroic enemies, so it's really only useful if you're doing the push build. So let's see, 16, Executioner, pretty standard. He has a lot of slows in his kit, so this might be really good to pick up. Flowing Wounds, reduce Spectral Scythe's cooldown by 4 seconds if you hit an enemy hero. So it definitely feels like he has the potential to go some kind of crazy, weird Scythe build. We'll take a look at talents again to see if we can do that. Amplify Damage, again, basically gives vulnerability for 2 seconds, taking 25% increased damage from all sources from all your Bone Prism. I like vulnerabilities, but the problem is a lot of people have them now, so you don't want to overstack them. Skeleton Mastery, again, I picked it up because fun. So increase the maximum number of skeletons you can have up to 6 and increase their damage by 100%. This is a flat 100% though, so it's not against enemy non-heroic source targets, it's against everything. So that's not bad. So if you're going like a full-on skeleton build, definitely I'd be picking this one up because more skeletons means you can push harder. I believe there's 7 minions in a wave, so you're basically making an entire wave of minions fight for you. My only issue with them is they definitely felt like they didn't have a lot of health. So, whereas most things can take like 1 or like 2 shots from a tower, these guys were definitely being killed by 1. So, I don't know. It feels like the skeletons can be cleared out very easily. Okay, and then level 20, we didn't have a chance to take a look at these. So, basically, you have your 2 heroic bonus, 2 heroic upgrades. Call of the Grave is the Poison Nova one. Looks like it deals an additional 1% of the target's maximum health as damage every second. I'm assuming that it's every second that they are poisoned, which sounds pretty brutal. How long are they poisoned for? 10 seconds. So basically you're getting an extra 10% of their maximum life in damage with Call of the Grave. Raised Mage. Let's see here. When a nearby enemy hero dies, a Frost Mage appears from their corpse to fight for you. Also increases the slow of Frost Mages from 30% to 50%. That doesn't sound bad. That doesn't sound bad at all. I kind of like this. Basically, the idea with it is that in a team fight, if enemies are dying, these things are popping up and they're dealing damage to them, and they're slowing them to 50%. I've said this before in a lot of videos. Stuns and slows can win a team fight, and if you're able to get a pick on somebody, this can just mean more and more kills. Imagine this. You have this raised mage, and you have a Li Ming on your team. Li Ming basically blows somebody up. Your raised mage comes up and slows somebody else. Li Ming can then move in for a kill on them. I definitely feel like Zul is sort of in the game to be... He can deal damage, don't get me wrong. I definitely felt like he could deal damage, but it definitely feels like he can mess with people really hard and really boost your team's ability to kill someone. Alright, Mortal Wound, basically a Mortal Strike. Enemies hit by Spectral Scythe receive 75% less healing for 4 seconds. So that person, that Morales, is basically healing non-stop and will never die. Well, now they're mortally wounded and you can blow them up. Bone Spear, you get a new ability, it looks like, on a 10-second cooldown. Deal a bunch of damage in a line. Okay. Wish we could have seen that in-game, but okay, that seems pretty cool. So really quick, let's take a look at the Scythe talents we could go with. So at 4, we could go with Death's Reach, increases Spectral Scythe range by 20%. You could go with... With this one, I'd probably end up taking the Raised Skeleton heals you. I don't know. See, the Spectral Scythe, there looks like there's not a ton. Probably go with Harvest Vitality then. So that way when you do end up getting into combat, you can heal yourself. At 10, I'd probably go with Poison Nova, or I guess it would just depend on what your team needs. Like I said, I think Poison Nova is probably going to be the go-to, just because it felt like it dealt more damage, and the whole weirdness with, like, you have to have the perfect circle for the skeletal mages to be summoned. They can't be summoned even partially in terrain. It definitely hurts their ability to function. So at 13, Decrepify, Spectral Sight slows. At 16, you'd probably go with Flying Wounds then to reduce the cooldown of it. And then at 20, you'd probably take Mortal Wounds. So there's actually quite a few Scythe talents. There are other talent builds that I'm looking at here that they could definitely work. Like you could go with the Cursed Strikes build with some other functionality thrown in there. I really feel like he has a lot of different really great talents. I'm excited to play more of him now. Wow. So 8-second cooldown. If you hit an enemy hero, you can do it be a 4-second cooldown then. Imagine that with the Mortal Wounds thing. So basically, you could hit somebody and you could keep them permanently. I guess not permanently wounded because there's the 1-second delay, but you could keep them nearly permanently wounded, so they would be killed very quickly, very very quickly. Lots of really cool builds. Definitely looking forward to playing him more later this week. So check back in. We will have a quick match up probably on Thursday. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. This first look at Zul. He seems to be a very fun character. Lots of different really great talents to choose from. I'm going to be playing him quite a bit this week. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. And until next time, I will catch you all later.